Órale, Cholo Trucker Más Movies and Shows. And this is it, man. Final episode. Episode 4 of season 5, or I should say volume 5. That's what they're calling them, volumes, not seasons. Um, the shortest one when it comes to volumes. Volume 5 only has 4 episodes. Like, wow. I wonder if it's, well, we'll get to that. All right, but let me go ahead and just talk about the what it's about, and I'm gonna keep it pretty short on this one because this one was very interesting to me. And I'm sorry, I'm not gonna be throwing names out there because there was just a lot of names to keep up with on this episode. It was basically about the 1947 Roswell crash, the UFO crash, or some say it was a balloon or whatever it may be, right? They're going back and they're revisiting it. One thing that I really loved about this is they went back to the 1989 Unsolved Mysteries episode with Robert Stack, showing footage of it and going from what they learned from then to now. You got two guys that are out there seeking answers, and they got access to a lot of good things, man. And I found that extremely interesting. I mean, heck, they were able to go on what used to be the base. I got it mixed up. I'm not sure if it was the Air Force base or Army base. And it was the last remaining um, building that was still there back in 1947. Everything else had been torn down and reconstructed, and they had access to that. These guys are doing some incredible work, getting down to the nitty gritty. I like the timelines in all of it. Again, I don't want to, be throwing names and times out there because I'm gonna get you guys all confused because it's kind of hard to keep up with. It's definitely an episode that I'm gonna rewatch. It was just extremely interesting. I don't really think about uh, the Roswell crash anymore, but whenever I hear Roswell or New Mexico, two things come to my mind. All right, whenever I hear New Mexico, um, Billy the Kid and 1947, the UFO crashing of Roswell, Mexico, right? New Mexico. So it was very interesting. The timelines, the footage that they were able to show back in 1997 when the Pentagon came on. You had an officer for the Air Force come out. I had no idea this happened. He came out and he explained it that no, you know what, it was a balloon and the Project Mogul. Look, I never really did any investigating on Roswell. I just remember hearing that, oh, the military said or the government said that it was a balloon, a test or whatever, but I never knew the name of it. Maybe some of you guys did, but it was called Project Mogul. The thing is, there is no record of a crash of Project Mogul. Now, there is record of Project Mogul, but apparently it was cloudy that day, so it was canceled. Yet, due to the records that are there for that timing, looks like the military or government, whatever it may be, is using that. Like, oh, wait, no, it was the crashing of Project Mogul. And it's like, well, wait a second. Documents show here, your documents show that you guys canceled it that day because it was too cloudy outside. And not only that, but you guys have no documentation showing that that project crashed. So what are we doing here? You guys aren't going to document. You guys are going to document Project Mogul, which is, classified, except for Project Mogul, the balloon itself, that's not classified. But you guys are not going to document the fact what happened, that it crashed, if you guys are saying that it crashed. So it was interesting going all the way back um to the original Unsolved Mysteries to today. I had no idea people were still digging around trying to find out what happened that day or what happened through that whole time of picking up that wreckage and the bodies and in 1997 again the Pentagon coming out and saying like, oh, they were dummies, just like the crash test dummies. That's what it was. It wasn't bodies, it was dummies. And then coming out later on and saying like, whoa, wait a second, dummies weren't even invented till what they say in the early 1950s or something of that sort. So wow, it was interesting. It was interesting. It really was. It had me really intrigued, and I should have got out a pen and pad and started writing some of these names down just so I could be more specific here. But there was just a lot going on. And what's interesting is the kids of some of the people that were involved are now speaking up and saying, well, listen, man, my father, my grandfather, said this to me and he was there and he was involved, but we couldn't speak about it. So it's definitely interesting. I found it, it had me really interested in this episode. Like I said, I'm probably going to rewatch it just so I could go ahead and get all the details. But nonetheless, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it. I really did. This episode. Um, as the show itself, I'm thinking there's only 4 episodes this season, or volume for this. Probably because they're having a problems keeping up. I mean, there's a lot of cold cases out there that they can get. There's a lot of missing people that they can go ahead and focus on. But at the same time, I understand you got to be able to get people that's going to come on and be interviewed. And if you can't do that, then you can't really make any episodes. So I found it a little bit underwhelming that we only got 4 episodes for this volume. I remember volume one, which captured the heck out of me with that dude that just went through a roof. Um, it seemed from volume four to now to volume five, they seem to get a little bit weak. Um, Seem to be going back and getting like some old cases, and none of them really worked for me except for this one, the Roswell crashing. That one did work for me, but nonetheless, man, like I said, I thought this was probably maybe the best episode of this volume. Probably the most intriguing, I should say. That I should say that the most interesting one. Um, The other one was heck, I forgot. I think it was episode one with the murder on the bench, which was tragic. But yeah, man, yeah, good episode. I don't know if we're gonna get a volume six. If we do, I'm hoping it's more than just 4 episodes. This is Unsolved Mysteries on Netflix. I don't know. I haven't done any digging or searching if they're looking at for a volume six. But if they do, I'll be on top of it, man. But as for now, that is volume five, which was only 4 episodes of Unsolved Mysteries on Netflix. Cholo Trucker, M.A.S. Movies and Shows. Catch you guys on next one.